I am going to explain how to identify fibers. We all know three basic needs of a human. The first one is food, clothing and shelter. Clothing stands second in the basic needs of a human. How clothes are made? Fiber under spinning process can be made into yarn. Through weaving and knitting process, the yarn can be converted into fabric. So, fibers are the basic source for making fabric. From fabric, garments or any kinds of clothing can be made. Clothing. So, different types of fibers we are going to see. Before that, what is fiber? Any fibers or any materials which are having the capability of converting into fabric through weaving is known as fibers. Different types of fibers are there. Two types of fibers, natural and man-made fibers. Natural fibers are have been used for more than 1000 years. People are using many natural made fibers. So natural fibers examples, vegetable fibers, animal fibers and mineral fibers. Vegetable fibers example, cotton, sisal, hemp, jute and bamboo. Animal fibers we all know, silk and wool. The next one is mineral fibers, asbestos, glass, metal and basalt. Man-made fibers. Man-made fibers, the name itself denotes it is made by man by using various chemicals. Man-made fibers are also known as synthetic fiber. Man-made fibers can be made by only using synthetics or in combination with natural fibers. Some examples of man-made fibers are polyester, aramid, acrylic, nylon, spandex and olefin. How fibers can be identified? 4 different methods can be used to identify fiber. The first one is through feeling test, burning test, solubility test and microscopic test. Let's see one by one in detail. The first one is by feeling test. Feeling test, it's a subjective test. So one can identify the fiber by touching the fabric. So it requires a special skill. People who are handling the fibers and fabric for different years can able to identify it easily, and it also depends on one individual or among one or individual perception. Some examples for identifying the fibers and fabric using feeling test is through the first one is wool. While touching the woolen fabric, we can feel the warmness in our fingers. The next one is linen or rayon. We can feel cold while touching those fabrics. While touching the cotton, we can feel the softness and cold, and cotton, it has the property of inelasticity. The next one is through burning test. Natural fibers like cotton, linen, while burning, it generates a grey ash, and cotton fabrics, while we show it in the flame, it produces an odor of burning paper. While linen, it produces a odor of burning grass while showing it in the flame. The next natural fiber is wool and silk. Silk fabrics, while shown it in the flame, it generates a black ash, and wool, it generates a dark ash. Both of them generate a odor of burning hair as it is generated from animal sources. Both the wool and silk, they burn while showing it in the flame. It burns briefly and then goes off completely. Whereas the natural fibers from plant sources, cotton and linen, they burns off completely. When come to the man-made fibers, acrylic and rayon. Acrylic, they produce a black char while show it in the flame. Rayon, it generates a grey ash and it produces a odor of burning paper. Acrylic, it produces a odor of burning meat while burning. Both of the fabrics, they burn completely when it shows in the flame. The next man-made fibers, nylon and polyester. Polyester, it produces a black char while we show it in the flame, and nylon, it produces a grey char while shown on the flame. Both produces a odor of sweet chemicals and it burns off completely. Next, we are going to see about the solubility test. Solubility test, it's somewhat difficult because different fibers having different properties. So we can't able to tell which particular solvent is used for particular type of fibers. And fabrics nowadays are made up of different combinations of fibers. So we can't able to specify the specific procedure for solvent and separating the fiber identification. The next one is microscopic test. This test is most useful for identifying natural fibers. We can identify the structure of the natural fibers under microscope using 100 power magnification. And it is difficult to identify man-made fibers as all the structures of the man-made fibers are similar in nature. And certain finishing process of the fabric may affect to identify the structure of the fabric in microscope. And also very dark color fabrics cannot be identified under the microscope. Let's see one by one in detail. Microscopic identification of cotton. In longitudinal view, it shows a mature flat and ribbon-like convolutions and it produces a thick wall and small lumen. In the cross-sectional view, the cotton fabric shows a kidney shape and elliptical and very thin like strip. Next, we are going to see the microscopic identification of wool. As it is generated from animal hair, it naturally have a cylindrical and irregular rough surface and scale-like structure also. In the cross-sectional view, it shows a round shape and we can able to see the inner medulla. The next, we are going to see about the microscopic identification of silk. In the longitudinal view, it shows a smooth surface and the structures are less visible. In the cross-sectional view, in the circular round, we can able to identify the triangular rounded corners. Next, we are going to see the man-made fibers. Microscopic identification of man-made fibers. The first one is polyester. In the longitudinal view, it shows a structureless, uniform diameter, rod-like appearance. In the cross-sectional view, it shows a circular structure. Now, we have seen the microscopic and solubility, burning test and feeling test method of identifying fibers. Now, I am having a question for you. Why it is important to know about the fiber identification? Because through fiber identification only, it is helpful for planning appropriate conservation treatments and storage methods. Because after learning the fiber identification method, we know to handle the different types of fabrics and which material will be suitable for which type of garments also. Thank you.